Welcome to Super Movie Brothers. Let's start the show.
This is a podcast on the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Welcome to Super Movie Brothers, episode 170. I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Dave.
I'm your host, Super Movie Brother Jay.
Jay, before we get into like what we were up to this week, I don't really care what you were up to because we actually spent a good amount of the weekend together. I have a good picture of what you were up to. So before we hit that music and stuff, we're recording with like a new setup here. You are sounding so much clearer than I am, and I'm super jealous because you sound absolutely fantastic on the microphone.
Well, thank you.
And I'm trying to like emulate like the way that your microphone is situated and oriented. I'm just trying to emulate the dangle of your angle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right now you're talking above your microphone. It looks like to me from this angle.
See, I just don't know I'm so out of sorts now because we're in like a new setting.
Believe me, I do not feel that comfortable. I mean, I'm comfortable, but I still feel very awkward.
This is 10 times better than that shitty broken down old couch I was sitting on.
Guys, we completely changed up the whole studio, like 100%. It's for the better, and also for the movie cocktail episodes, it'll be a lot more comfortable for Mark and for Rob. So
yeah, I'm just jealous of the way you sound and how that's all I was getting at. Hey Jay, what are you up to this week?
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry.
All right, man. So I know what you did Saturday. You know, you were here on Saturday.
Yes.
You were here for about 2 or 3 hours, which was great. You know, you came over, you helped me do some of the heavy lifting. Thank you for that. That you came over and did help me do some of that heavy lifting.
I wish I could do more, but my God, do you have a lot of stuff?
I know, and I'm terrible at direction.
There's no way. Right, and I need direction. I like direction. So like when I'm trying to help, you just got to tell me what to do, because otherwise I'm like, this is your stuff, dude. I don't know where I'm putting this. I don't know what to do with it.
That's what she said.
So get this.
But it was an eventful day.
When rearranging and cleaning and setting up all the new equipment and stuff that we had, I started at 1 p.m. I finished at 1 a.m. It was an excruciatingly long day. And the worst part about that day was that my calves were hurting. I had made so many little trips from inside this room,
like the squatting and the bending down,
into another room, and then back and forth. My calves were on fire the next day.
That is not the muscle group that I was expecting.
It's just the way I walk, man. Like I power walk, like so like I'm all like heel toe push hard, you know. So I'm never using my thighs. You know, they're already big enough as it is. You gotta work out them calf muscles. Just trying to get that nice heart shape back.
One of my favorite features of you.
I spent a whole day doing that. But then on Sunday, man, we went to an event together, you and I.
We did.
I went to an event before we went to our event. My event was a child's baptism, and I didn't catch on fire going into the church, which some people in my family thought was going to happen. I have nothing against religion. I just don't particularly subscribe to anyone, and I kind of call them out for all their bullshits that I believe that all organized religions have. But
we're not gonna get into all.
Besides the point.
Stay on target.
I got to use my camera to take pictures of my niece. It was nice and it was cute and stuff.
It was cute.
But then we went down to the city. We went down to Center City. We went to the old Armory, and we went to Boxcar Legends bourbon tour. Right?
Yes. So
Sunday.
It was a nice
bourbon tour.
Yes, late afternoon delight.
It was really cool. Like I didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what to expect. These were free invitations that we got.
It was an invitation only event, and I still can't recall how I scored this, but I'm very happy we did.
But we go there. It's all like, you know, right at the door, the security has square frame glasses, curled up mustaches, and flannel shirts, and I was like, okay. You, sir, I am afraid of. Let me tell you.
Immediately, I knew I'm at the right spot.
Yeah. Like, when I was going in, I was like, the only power that this security guard has is that he might PC me to death.
Right.
he might politically correct me too much and cause me to commit suicide. But anyway, we went in. It was really cool, man. Like they greeted us with ginger beer and cornbread. And they were like, would you like some ginger beer and cornbread? And I was like, why isn't every country club like this? Why don't I walk in somewhere and they're like, excuse me, sir, would you like some ginger beer and some cornbread? And I was like,
I think they're trying to coat our stomach for a lovely evening of bourbon.
Yeah, and they did warn us, like, if you ate a lot, this isn't going to be fun for you. If you didn't eat at all, it's going to be really fun until it's not.
Yeah.
But it's cool. We got like a little bit of a tour of like, hey, this is how bourbon's made. We use, use wheat, we use wood, we use water, we use char. Like,
and it was short and sweet and interesting. The tour guide was super cute, super cool, and it was 4 bourbons: Basil Hayden's, Jim Beam. They had Jim Beam Black at that place,
and Jim Beam Double Oak.
Oh, and Double Oak.
We had the double
very
oak,
nice.
yeah.
I never had that before, and that's why I wanted to try it. I am a fan of Jim Beam Black, not so much of their classic Jim Beam White Label.
It's smooth. While I was editing last night, I actually took some of your Jim Beam Black and was drinking that because it's a lot less harsh, a little bit more mellow than the Dogfish Head that you got me.
It's a bit of a hidden gem. Not many people actually give it a shot. It's really good. And then we also had Maker's Mark and Knob Creek,
which I absolutely hate Maker's Mark. Like I if I never drink Maker's Mark again, it'll be great.
That was my transition bourbon out of Jack when I first started getting into bourbons.
You're a bourbon guy, so this was like your event.
This was my Disney World.
Hands down, my favorite one we had was the Basil Hayden because that is a rye bourbon and it's extremely dry and it's very much like a lowland Scotch. Like that's the way they were describing it to us. And I was like, now you're speaking my language because I'm a Scotch guy.
That was the second time I've ever had Basil Hayden's, and the first time I had it, I remember not being a big fan of it because of that fact. And I think at the time I was already a few bourbons deep. So the transition from traditional bourbons to Basil was a little jarring, I think. But during Sunday's little outing, I quite enjoyed it. It was my second favorite. I actually liked the double oaked Jim Beam, I think, the best.
My only problem with the event, and it's not even that we didn't get our second cocktail, because we did get 4 free tastings at each of the distilleries, but then we also got a free cocktail, 2 free cocktails.
Yes.
You and I, we futzed around too much. We were too much in awe of everything going on around us. We didn't get around to getting our second cocktail, which is fine. I wasn't impressed with any of their cocktails by any means, but what really disappointed me was we got to make our own Jim Beam label, which we now have on a Jim Beam bottle here in the studio, but they wouldn't let us do prom picture because then it's your fault. You're too tall. They couldn't fit both of us in the frame to do prom picture.
I know.
It was
a shame.
I wanted to be Little Spoon. I wanted Jay to put his arms around my waist and then cup his hands lovingly over top of my hands. And then we would have went full waffle with our fingers, interlacing them, because that's more romantic.
It is. I was quite excited for that photo.
Yeah,
and this girl was just like,
she wasn't having. Yeah, she like straight up looked at us, and she's just like, "No, can we take this seriously?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're serving alcohol in a flannel shirt.
Yeah,
like you're like nothing should be taken seriously here whatsoever."
That's probably why she was reduced to just taking photos.
Yeah, because she's like, "Hey, I don't want to have any fun. Just stand there and don't smile because it fucks the print up." And it's like, okay.
Yeah, she was the most unfortunate part of that.
So for Jay, take every picture he's ever taken ever, and for me, look like I'm in a prison lineup. But no, it ended up being a really good time. Then we came back here and we did some more studio stuff, and we're almost done setting up the studio, and it's a lot of fun. So I can't wait to start doing videos and stuff in here. I can't wait to start start taking a new journey for Super Movie Brothers.
Our Patreon subscribers are going to be having the first dibs on actually seeing firsthand what we're experimenting with the video content and the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, because
before we actually go 100% live.
For longtime listeners of the show, you can go back and listen to some of our earlier episodes. It sounds like dog shit. Like me and you sound like we're 15 feet underwater, and like it sounds all warbly. I didn't know anything about audio editing. I don't want to start video editing off on the same foot where I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos where I just try different things in editing, and then I'm going to throw them up on Patreon for those people.
And we took our time. We made sure we purchased the right proper items of quality and lighting, camera. We got some nice chairs, desk set up. Everything is pretty much ready to go.
Action. Yeah. So I had another experience this week, and I think this is one that everyone can kind of relate to. If you own a PC at home, Jay actually doesn't own a computer, so he doesn't have to deal with this experience. My antivirus software is expiring in a couple days. So if anyone's ever like gone through this, your antivirus software, it starts like pinging you 3 months beforehand. It's like, hey, in 90 days, you're going to be renewing your contract for us to keep doing your virus service. Please put a credit card on file. And it just like keeps pinging. And then it becomes more aggressive as it goes. First, it starts off as a little window that's in the bottom right-hand corner. Click the X, goes away. Then it starts taking up my entire screen to warn me about this. And then eventually, I used McAfee. I don't want to drop their name here. But anyway, I used McAfee. Who cares? And then eventually it's just like, would you like to continue using your computer unprotected? Will you take that risk? And then it makes me click take the risk. Like every time. And then I started finding it becoming more and more sexual each time. And it's like, you are unprotected. You are using your computer unprotected. Are you taking that risk? It sounded like me giving Jay a PSA like I've done before. And it's just like, are you taking that
Too
risk?
many times.
Right. And then eventually, I feel like McAfee's just like, all right, that's fine. You want to surf the internet? You want to go on the internet? You don't want to use protection? That's fine. Now you have a virus. It's a Trojan. Huh? Ironic that you didn't.
Hopefully,
ironic that you didn't use protection and you got a Trojan virus. You have herpes now. That shit's for life. Enjoy your blue screen, motherfucker. And I felt like it was like badgering me. So instead, Jay, I was like, you know what? End this emotionally abusive relationship with McAfee. I uninstalled it from my computer. I got rid of it. And I went and downloaded a free virus program who now only interrupts me with ads where it's like, hey, would you like to know who's hacked your camera? And I was like, shit. Who's hacked? And then I started thinking, I was like, my camera's taped up. So it's like, here's
this
what a
is
hacked
why
camera
I got
looks
rid of the whole computer life.
But it's funny because it showed me, it's like, hey, here's what a hacked camera looks like. And it was black. And I was like, oh yeah, because I taped that shit up when I bought the computer.
Well, let me ask you this. Do Apple products do that?
I don't know. I'm sure they all do.
Know.
Apple products read your face to unlock them. So yes. Yes.
Okay.
They're just not as easily hacked because they're not as popular, so hackers don't go after them as much. But they can be hacked. They're not unhackable.
Well, I just mean their software, like the protection, all that.
Right.
Like, does it have those pop-up things all the time?
But then you just got to think, who the fuck am I, and who the fuck wants to be me, and who the fuck wants to take anything from me?
They want to steal Super Movie Bros.
Yeah, they want to steal student loan debt that's going to be paid off between now and 2039. Thank you. I'll be dead in the ground for that's all paid off. Good luck. Student loan debt, it's the only debt that doesn't follow you into death. So I can pay the bare minimum, get myself put into the ground, and no one has to deal with that shit ever again. So Jay, with all that house cleaning out of the way, let's get our housekeeping. With all that housekeeping out of the way, let's head over and let's get into what are you watching?
What are you watching?
What are we watching?
I think he's trying to watch some illegal channel.
Always watching.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
All right, dude, with a very busy weekend, I imagine neither of us really got down to watching a whole lot. But what'd you get down to watching, man? What'd you watch this week? Anything interesting? Anything you'd like to depart on us?
I did a little bit before the weekend hit.
Amazing, charismatic co-host, by any chance, recommend something that you're that you wound up enjoying?
Yes, you did, Dave.
Yeah.
I still have not finished it. However.
Neither have I. I finished episode 2. That's how far I've gotten.
Of the miniseries Unbelievable?
Of the miniseries Unbelievable, yeah.
Okay, so I am halfway through it. I think it's an 8-part miniseries. So I think I am 3 or 4 episodes in, and it's certainly interesting. It is worth a watch. It definitely walks that fine line of the interesting cases of rape allegations, and if they are true, if they are not true, how it affects different people who have gone through it, how it affects the investigators and the detectives behind it. And that's pretty much all I know so far with the story. It's still unveiling itself.
It's very drama heavy. I mean, it's heavy subject matter.
It is.
I would say me and Lauren watched the first episode. I think we both teared up at some point because there is a level of victim blaming that's going on in it, and there is a level of denial in a sense too, where she's not even.
It's an
quite
interesting
sure.
character study.
It's very so, but
very nuanced. Very.
I like
bold.
the way it's presented because it's not whether or not she's been raped or not. It's just more or less what her thought process is in it. Like, the way it happened. I don't want
and
to
her
spoil
life
it.
in general.
Right.
It's not a happy life. It's sad.
But the thing that was really standing out to me was the strong, acting that was in it from I would say like our three female leads. Caitlin Dever, who, you and I have been enjoying for quite some time. She shows up in a lot of smaller roles. It's one of the first few times.
She's in Booksmart this year. I love.
Well, the first few times I can remember her being in like a starring role. But yeah, she was in Booksmart, and then she was also in Short Term 12, which was a film you turned me on to. Very drama heavy role, very similar type character for her.
Right.
And then I also really loved Toni Collette and Mariette Weaver, who are playing the detectives who are looking into it because she's originally dismissed as a victim by two male detectives.
It certainly goes back and forth, and I understand the direction that it's going. It's just it's starting to open up into a bigger issue at hand where it could be a serial rapist, and they're trying to piece everything together. I
gotta just warn everybody, like, while it's an extremely interesting watch and it's something that very much happens within our criminal justice system today, so it's incredibly topical for that reason. It also deals very heavily with a heinous crime of rape, and there's multiple rapes that go on. So if that's something that makes you uncomfortable, then don't watch it. But if it makes you uncomfortable, it's kind of a good thing. Like it kind of shines a light on a problem that we have in our society, and the fact that it's making you uncomfortable. In a more
realistic sense.
Right. It lets you know that you're not a fucking monster,
Right.
And let's face it, like, there's tons of monsters in our world. And, unfortunately, interesting stories tend to revolve around them and the people affected by them in more ways than one. We'll get to a real monster when we talk about Battle of Big Rock towards the end of this here. All right, Jay, I did get around to watching something else. Actually, the reason that I didn't finish Unbelievable was because while watching Unbelievable, I logged into my Netflix. I went to go put it on, and real big at the top, and it said The Ranch Part 7. And I was like, well, let's not put on the cry fest that's really bumming me out, where I'm watching a girl deal with like a heavy situation like that, and let's just watch The Ranch, shut my brain off, and just enjoy myself. And I gotta say, The Ranch this season did this very like song and dance where like it's funny, but it comes from a very painful place. Everybody is in a bad place in this season. Like, everybody has lost something, or is losing something, or is kind of losing their status quo, and they're struggling to deal with it.
Wow.
So like all of their comedy is coming from this place of hurt. And where to me, I was just like, it's every day of my life. Welcome to my world. It's refreshing to see characters I can relate to on TV, with the exception of, the fact that they're ranchers and I've never really done anything that's hard and laborious in a day of my life. Yeah. But I adore the show, man. Like, as when I think about sitcoms and the sitcoms we get on TV, like Big Bang Theory, that like killed it for years, and how trash that show was.
Right. Well, this is one series I did not think was going to be a hit.
I watched this and I was like, you know what? This is
the power of Ashton Kutcher.
It's a well-made sitcom. It's decently written. It's not cinematic, but I just feel like it gets its audience now more than anything else does on TV right now. So as far as sitcoms go, and look, I'm not a sitcom guy. I don't really like sitcoms all that much. I watch them from time to time, but I'm not like in love with them. But this one, I'm like, you know what? Every time it's on, I want to watch it. I like it. So Ranch Part 7's out, ends on a cliffhanger. I think the next part, I think they do it twice a year, I want to say. They actually have 10 episodes twice a year. So 6 months, there'll be more of it. And I don't know, if you haven't jumped in on the show, I really think there's a lot there for people to enjoy.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some people listening just going like,
what? No.
But
no, that's possible. So I actually saw a couple things as well. I finally caught Jackie Brown, the directed movie by Quentin Tarantino. It is something that I just, for whatever reason, never got around to seeing.
Not written by him, though, right? This is one of the ones he directed, but was not written by him.
It is
that correct?
Written for the screen by Quentin Tarantino from a novel. It is not an original film written by Quentin Tarantino.
But a lot of the dialogue definitely is Tarantino.
I'm sure. Yeah. You could tell. Absolutely. But it's just a fine movie. Like it's not a big wow. It's nothing. It doesn't. I think it's. I know it for a fact that it's some people's favorite, and I'm wondering why that is. Maybe because of the way the story is being told, the structure of it all, and the outlandish characters. I mean, you have Samuel L. Jackson playing another great Samuel L. Jackson type of role. Pam Grier plays Jackie Brown. I thought she was great, but I didn't think she was that great. Like, she didn't wow me. She didn't have like a magnetic performance to me.
There's a lot of people who I
was very surprised that she was the headliner.
There's a lot of people who watch Pulp Fiction and then like watch Jackie Brown and are like, oh, that revived John Travolta's career, where Jackie Brown kind of revived Pam Grier. Like, that's what he was trying to do. I don't think Quentin does anything. Yeah. I don't think he revives anyone's career intentionally. I think he does it for his own kicks. Like, he hires these people for his own amusement in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you get great little young Chris Tucker cameo. Robert De Niro, you can't even recognize him practically. He's got a small part. He's no big character in this movie. Michael Keaton plays a role. Bridget Fonda plays the Ditz.
Samuel Jackson.
Robert Forster. This actually was kind of like a good comeback role for him to get him back on the map, because he had a very big lull in his career leading up to this movie, and so he had a good break. He actually won that role over De Niro, believe it or not. Quentin Tarantino really wanted Robert Forster to play that role. And then other than that, I caught About Alex is free on Amazon Prime right now, and it has a great cast. It's got Nate Parker, Jason Ritter, Maggie Grace, Max Greenfield, Aubrey Plaza, Max Minghella, and it's really just an old group of friends from college, and they get together to help out a friend who committed suicide. And Jason Ritter plays this character who just is a writer, was lonely.
They're helping out a friend who committed suicide?
Attempted to commit suicide.
So this is like Weekend at Bernie's, right? They're just they're like, well, he had a job interview today, so let's get the strings on him. let's get him to his job interview.
Yes. So my apologies. Attempted. And it was definitely, I think, more of a cry for help type scenario, but it was just a very nuanced movie that it knew what it was.
I'm so sorry. I can't get Weekend at Bernie's out of my head.
It certainly was not that.
It's such a ridiculous 80s movie. It's so good.
But there was a lot of tropes with some of the characters and the character dynamics between all the other friends, and how somebody slept with another person, but this other person's still
in Weekend at Bernie's, someone sleeps with Bernie even after he's dead. I'm sorry, you're having this very serious conversation about this very serious movie.
You're killing me on this,
and I just can't get Weekend at Bernie's out of my head. I'm sorry. Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's 2, where he's possessed by a voodoo demon or whatever, and every time music plays, his body starts bouncing up and down because they fucked it up.
I'd watch it. Let's put it on Disney Plus. Yeah,
let's just do a Patreon exclusive cocktail for it.
Oh yeah.
It'll be like that Scandinavian drink where
we have our own camera now, Dave. We can make our own.
But it'll be like
mini short films.
If we make a Weekend at Bernie's like cocktail, it'll be like that Scandinavian drink where they put like a toe in it, like there's a rotten mummy toe in it, and you got to like drink all the way to the toe touches your lip.
Well,
that's a thing. Look it up.
Okay,
some country does that. I don't know where
we'll
it is.
Look that up.
But anyway, your sad movie that you were talking about.
I'm just going to wrap it up as it was an okay film that was still an enjoyable watch for these actors alone, I would say.
Well, McAfee is still disappointed that I didn't wrap it up.
For the story itself. However, it's just okay. And then other than that, I saw the Bill Burr stand up.
How did you have time to do all this? We were together all weekend. When did you do all this?
After the days after we recorded the last episode, leading up to the weekend.
So I
don't go out anymore because I haven't been dating and I am a loner. So a loner loser. That's why I like to call myself.
I invite you over to watch the Eagles games all the time. You're like, nah.
I'm kind of a homebody with
I'm gonna stay inside. I'm gonna do some laundry.
I know.
So I did watch the Bill Burr stand-up, and I also watched the Dave Chappelle stand-up Sticks and Stones.
Yeah, I saw that a couple weeks ago.
I realized 100% what both of them are doing. They are purposely being controversial. That's 100% what they are doing.
Right.
They're being purposely controversial, and I don't think they're doing it to drum up publicity. Let's face it, they're two of the biggest comedians that are out there right now. They don't need publicity and stuff like that. I think it's comedians who have been feeling hamstrung with current political climate, and they just want to let the fuck loose, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And that's why every single comedian is getting behind these specials, because.
But it's also, to me, it feels like their level of. Like their level of disrespectfulness.
They're trying too hard.
They're trying too hard to be controversial.
I know. I felt that too.
Me and Lauren, we shut off the Bill Burr one, not because we were offended by it in any way, shape, or form, but because we could tell that he was just trying too hard to be controversial.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying, and I didn't quite enjoy it as much as the Dave Chappelle one. However, the Dave Chappelle one made me squeamish a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bill Burr one, I was like, oh, it's just
I enjoyed the Dave Chappelle one more because I felt that one was more genuine than the Bill Burr one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I believe that. I mean, I know Bill Burr is a little bit more popular. I don't know him as well as Dave Chappelle, but I know for a fact Chappelle is.
There's still a few standout 100%.
Like a lot of people don't realize Chappelle is he's quite honest, and he has viewpoints that are not what you would expect.
Right. Yeah.
You'd be surprised, especially as he's become a rich man. He's kind of, honest about that kind of fact.
But like Bill Burr had a few standout moments in that stand-up when he's talking about watching an Elvis documentary about the misappropriation of black music, how Elvis stole black music and stuff like that, and him and his wife who is black got into like an argument over it. That made me laugh. But he even called it out where he's like, see, you're all laughing, and he's like, and it's just like, the difference between white and black people. It's the same joke that's been working since the 1970s when other comedians were doing it then. So, and I think that's what they were trying to get a point. Like, that's what they were trying to get across. Like, it's for them to come up with new levels of comedy and stuff, to do things that people haven't seen before, or to tackle subjects,
or at least start to break the mold a little bit more, to give other people freedom to just be comedians.
Right.
Just talk about the issues at hand. Stop taking it so literal and serious.
Why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face.
And hating on every little thing. Stop being so Twitter heavy.
Other than that, I started watching. I've been paying for this streaming app for like a year now. The DC streaming app. Like, I get free comic books out of it, which is kind of cool. Every single DC animated movie and every single DC animated series is on there for me to rewatch as I go along. And I've been rewatching Young Justice on there. One of my favorite DC animated cartoons of all time. They had a season 3 came out last year. I'm hoping that they do a season 4, but I'm hearing that this app may be going away and they may not be doing any new original content for it. But Titans season 2 just dropped, Jay, and I'm a big Teen Titans fan. I'm a big Dick fan. I love Dick, Jay. Just anytime I can get Dick, I can't. I'm talking about Dick Grayson, the best Robin, my favorite DC Comics character. He's the big he's the big cheese in the show. So I started watching season 2 just to get just to get my vitamin D, and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. The first episode was pretty ho-hum. The second episode was even worse. And
get it, girl.
Yeah, the first season, was okay. You could tell they were building to something. They kind of let you down in the end. This season seems like they're trying to hit the ground running, but they're just not finding their footing at all. So I'm going to continue watching, hoping that it gets better, because Doom Patrol was out a couple months ago, and that was a fantastic show. But then this app came out with the Swamp Thing series, which they were just like, you know what? Instead of bringing this out weekly, this sucks so bad. Here's the entire show right now. And that's it. Look, I can't recommend this app to anybody. I'm a big DC animated fan. I'm a big DC Comics fan. I'm a big Titans fan. So I have it for those reasons. But if any one of those three things about it, if I didn't love any one of those three things, it's not worth owning it whatsoever. But man,
I was surprised you got it last year because I didn't know anything
if it
that was
didn't
on
come
it.
with the free comic books that it comes with, like all the comic books, like I think it's any DC comic that's been out for the past 6 months is available on there for you to read. So if it didn't have all these comic books on there, and for the ability for me to download them and take them with me, like when I go on a plane or when when I have some downtime at work or when I'm taking a shit, like that means a lot to me. And the fact that I'm only paying, I believe it's $5.99 a month for it, for that convenience of having the comics, having the animated shows at my disposal, it's worth it to me, but it wouldn't be necessarily worth it to anybody who isn't a comic book super fan.
I understand that.
So, Jay, we both watched one other thing. And it's kind of a big deal. It didn't seem like a big deal because it kind of felt like it came out of nowhere.
And it did.
It did. It really did. But there is a short film which was distributed by Universal, produced and directed by Colin Trevorrow, and it's called Battle at Big Rock. And it is the story of a family who's, I guess, on a camping trip at Big Rock. And they come across dinosaurs, Jay. A mother, a baby dinosaur. And I believe that they were called Zucoceratops is what they called them. Whatever they were. They were Triceratops that didn't have the horn on the nose. They were a different type of Triceratops. Right. My daughter would correct me because she loves dinosaurs. I corrected Duty last night, but I don't remember what I told him it was. And then it gets attacked by an Allosaurus, and the family is just kind of like stuck in the middle. And it does take place in the Lost World universe.
Yes.
So let's start breaking this down for people. Let's discuss it. Let's actually do a review for it. RJ, so, I sent you this link last night, or at least I told you about it last night, and you went and watched it immediately, and you actually saw it before I did. You reported back to me. You were like, dude, it's good.
It was awesome.
Yeah, what'd you think of it? You thought it was awesome?
Very surprised.
How Spielberg-esque did it feel while watching it?
Oh, very much.
Because there's a thing, I don't mind spoiling this. This is full, non-spoilers, so I'll put a link to Battle at Big Rock in the description. So if you don't want to be spoiled, just go to the description, click on the
hit
link.
Pause, go to the link, watch it. It's only 8 to 9 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes long. Watch it, then come back and listen to this if you don't want to be spoiled. So, yeah, there, I just gave you the chance. Okay, so they do this thing where, like, they mention that the little 8-year-old girl was being trained how to use a crossbow, right? And the guy yells out of his camper, and he's like, yo, could you not teach my 8-year-old how to shoot a crossbow?
Yeah, so they're
You had to, like Spielberg rules, Chekhov's gag is that that little girl has to save them in the end.
Well,
and I knew that by hearing that line, but the payoff was really well.
The payoff was very good.
It was really good.
So what the great thing about it is, like, you can tell that it's a new family. They're really, they're 2 years into this relationship. Well, they just had a new baby.
They mention it. He has a daughter. She had a son, and now they have a baby together.
Yes.
And
so they're a new family. The kids aren't quite getting along, but they have to make it work. And we're not exactly sure if this is like a vacation ground or they live there,
or if there's a pandemic going on,
or there's an epidemic thing going on.
Dinosaurs running around.
Exactly.
Because this is taking place 1 year after Fallen Kingdom.
Right. And they are aware that this is a thing. They just thought that they were in the area that was safe from dinosaurs reaching them. But lo and behold, surprise!
Yeah, because the famous line, dinosaurs don't come this far north.
Yes.
And then, the second you hear that in a Spielberg-esque film like this, where you're like, well, of course a dinosaur is going to show up. That's like in Jaws: The Revenge, when they're like, oh, the water in Jamaica is far too warm for a great white shark to be here. Da-da-da, da-da, bump, 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 bump. There's a great white shark.
And then simply from there, we are introduced to the dinosaurs, and then massive action sequences of not just emotion, but also terror. The
effects look great. Is pretty darkly lit, but the fire effect and the way that the shadows were catching the dinosaurs and stuff. It was actually truly terrifying at points too. Like, one of the things that I felt Fallen Kingdom did really well was it did dinosaur action in a claustrophobic setting really well, where like
that was the practical effects portions, I believe.
So that moment when after the Allosaurus fails in getting its prize and eating the baby Zetaceratops or whatever the fuck it's called, it fails in that, and the mother and the father run off with the baby and stuff, and it hears their baby crying in the trailer, and it goes after them. That moment that the baby is like strapped into the front seat, and the Allosaurus flips the camper over, and you can see like all you see, and like I said, it was very much like, which was not directed by Colin Trevorrow, but it was very much like in the same way they showed the teeth of the dinosaur in Fallen Kingdom, just right outside the window, and all you see is this rictus grin of sharp, size of banana teeth that like it comes through the glass, goes after the baby, and they're dragging it through. And just the way that was shot, with the dinosaur the Allosaurus slowly progressing its way through the camper, chomping at them and everything like that. That was extremely well done, extremely suspenseful, and man, it really makes me hopeful for what we got coming down the pipeline with the Jurassic World 3.
So this was written by Colin and also Emily Carmichael. So Emily Carmichael hasn't done too much. Nothing of real, success, I would say, but she has done Pacific Rim Uprising, which was nothing to
all right, well, let's not sing her praises too much at this point, okay?
But I'm bringing her up because she also wrote this, and she's also writing Jurassic World 3.
Okay, well,
that he is obviously
I'm not gonna lie, watching this, I'm like, yeah, like the things I'm looking at here were the things that I liked about Jurassic World, the first one. Like, the things I'm looking at, like, this is what I want from my dinosaur action flicks.
Yeah,
right?
So you can take this one or two ways. You can say that they're trying to recover the little bit of a funk that they have going from the last movie, and trying to get people excited about, or just continuity, just keep people in the zeitgeist, like excited for this kind of property, and excited for the next movie. Or they just wanted to brag and show, like, look, we know what the fuck we're doing.
So, like, just
look out for our next movie.
Just to finish off the video, as the Allosaurus has mom and dad dead to rights while they're holding the baby, the little girl uses the crossbow that their neighbor showed her how to use.
At the very last minute, right before the
fires a crossbow right into the Allosaurus' face, which is enough to scare it off. Everybody's left breathing heavy, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And
as their campground was all killed, or
and we thought the same way. What the fuck? First off, why didn't the neighbors do anything? Clearly, neighbors are within earshot, because you can call your neighbors from wherever you're all. Hey, Ma, get off the dang roof! You know what I mean? Like, it's it's like Cletus the slack-jawed yokel. You can just open up your door and you call your neighbor. It's a redneck telephone. Just scream.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
But they.
It was fun to watch.
It was really fun to watch. But then, in the end credits, we're kind of treated to like these like Vine videos. Like, they were very much like Vine videos or like YouTube clips where like you get a guy on a road who crashes his car because a Stegosaurus is walking across it. Yeah. You get a bass fisherman on a river while a duckbill is on the other side of them.
You get whales majestically coming out of the water as
no, it's a great white shark. It's air jaws coming out of the water to eat a seal, and then
is that what it was?
And then the Mosasaurus comes up and eats and eats the great white shark. It was the one that made me laugh was like it was like an America's Funniest Home Videos one where the little girl was running through the chicken coop, but it's Compy's chasing her, and she's like,
oh, right. That was funny.
That one fucking cracked me up. So like, I like,
and the doves. Like, somebody gets married and like they lift the doves out, and
the pterosaur just comes down and comes. It was cute.
It was great. It was a nice little surprise.
Nice little addition. So, like a little bit of background on this. Like, Universal reached out to Colin Trevorrow and they were like, "Look," and this is not the conversation as it happened. This is the conversation the Super Movie Brothers sees it happen.
Yes.
Universal went, "Hey, Colin, you're working on that Jurassic World 3 there for us, and we're thankful that you're coming back to direct and all. But like, listen." People weren't so hot on that Fallen Kingdom thing, People are a little shaky on this franchise. We gotta do something that's gonna, restore some faith in us. So, you got something up your sleeve? Maybe do like 5 to 10 minute short film.
We'll grease your wheel.
Yeah, you do a little thing for us, do a little thing for you, and look, I think it'll make our audience really happy. What do you say, huh? And Colin Trevorrow was like, Yeah, okay. Didn't give them even a chance to reconsider their offer of doing this short film or give them a chance to pull funding for him at all. He immediately ran off to Ireland and filmed this in 4 days. He filmed this.
4 days?
4 days. He filmed this. He filmed an action set piece like this in 4 days. I think that is absolutely
good on
amazing.
him.
But clearly, like that's what Universal's game is here, right? Like the reading between the lines is that fans,
and it worked
right
super well.
Fans were not happy with the way Fallen Kingdom went. Not everybody was happy. We actually got into I'm not gonna say an argument. But we had a fan reach out to us when we talked about Fallen Kingdom who thought we had it all wrong. And there were so many beautiful things in Fallen Kingdom, especially if you're a gothic horror type fan. And I was like, I can see all that. I didn't like the way it was presented to me, but good on you. You liked it. I'm never gonna knock anybody for liking something, but I thought Fallen Kingdom was a far departure from the entire rest of the series. I thought that its plot was pretty shitty, and in love with it. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't in love with it. It was nothing great. I wasn't in love with Jurassic World either, because it was very much like The Force Awakens, where it's too much of what we got before and too many winks and nods and elbows that
right.
wind up is the reason why you would really like it.
Right.
This was something, it's far removed from our characters, and Colin Trevorrow in all the interviews has said, like, look, it's now a Jurassic World. If we continue following the same characters and doing the same stuff over and over again, it doesn't feel like a world. And the last movie unleashed the dinosaurs into this world. So this is going to be introducing people, the general public, to these creatures for the first time.
And that's see, for me, I struggle with that because that could work, but it worked for me in end credit scenes.
He's right.
I don't know if a whole feature film is going to.
So he's not saying that like we're not going to get Owen and we're not going to get Bryce Dallas Howard in the next one. He's not saying that. He's just saying that there's so many different stories that you could tell within this universe, and he just wanted to take 8 minutes to tell one that didn't involve those main characters, and that's it. Like that's all.
I understand that, and it worked out perfectly well. This is like a pretty much A+ short film for me.
We've already got rumors that Sam Neill, Mr. Event Horizon himself, will be in the next Jurassic World.
Get out of here.
Yeah. So
that's
it's
fantastic news.
So it's not like he's saying like, look, we're going to use all new characters moving forward. Chris Pratt's out. Like, no, I mean, come on, that dude's money. People love that dude. Your mom loves that dude. My mom loves that dude. Like, that dude's money. They're not getting rid of him or anything. They're just telling you that like there's other stories that could be told within this universe, and they wanted to present a story that existed in the Jurassic World universe in a different light, while doing what the Jurassic Park films have done so well. And I wound up enjoying 8 minutes of it. Jay, do you have a score for Battle at Big Rock?
A+.
Yeah,
I think it was fucking perfect to me.
Right.
It was for a Jurassic World.
If they told me I had
Jurassic
to pay
Park type of movie, short film.
If you had to pay $1.99 for this, would you still give it an A+?
Yeah,
I think so. I think I would have paid money to watch this.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it that much. It was a nice little surprise. I liked it.
It was a very good surprise, and there was, for something like this, it was perfect.
Has Universal's marketing tactic work on you? Are you more excited for Jurassic World 3 now, knowing that this is that Colin Trevorrow himself is excited enough that he's going to take 4 days out of his schedule to film this movie?
Yes.
To film this, yeah.
It worked 100%.
It works for me. I mean, and people were a buzz about it. Like
and you know how tough a critic I am.
You are. You may even like it more than I do.
The fact that I'm giving this kind of high praise, it's really saying something.
Jay,
if you have not caught it yet, please go seek it out.
I think the link is going to be in the description. Jay, I'm not going to lie. I think I only gave it an A+ because you gave it an A+. I was going to give it an A, but then I was like, holy shit. Negative Nance over here, Jay, gave something an A+. If I don't give it an A+, then I'm the negative Nancy.
I had nothing negative to critique over it.
Fair enough.
There's literally nothing for me to critique over.
Fair enough. No, it's good.
Maybe I should just start watching shorts and that's it. I don't know.
It's fun. I
don't know.
It's just good fun. It's just good fun.
But also the horror and the family dynamic, everything was pitched perfect. And the way it came full circle with the daughter and them all surviving, and even the other dinosaurs that were being attacked before.
Now stretch that out.
It was lovely
to 118 minutes runtime, and give me a movie. That's
and please
like
not 190 minutes.
Right.
Nothing crazy.
120 minutes. Like, I would love every studio to get together, go into like one of these like big like you know, meetings.
No,
and just
visit
be
the Illuminati.
like, listen. Look, I work for the Illuminati. I'm going to tell you guys, look, we're done with all the fetuses and all the rejuvenation baths that you guys have been enjoying. We're going to be putting all of our efforts into getting all the movie studios to stop making 3-hour-long movies. 2 hours is the max. That's it. If you can't tell your story in 2 hours, then you're constipated. You need
Go
to
down the
shit
street
or get
to
off the pot.
fucking Netflix and, you know, do your thing.
Do your thing. Do your fucking thing down there with those guys who are throwing money at all the wrong people and not making any money in return for it. The fucking Netflix guys. If you want to come here, you want to do big studio films, 2 hours, runtime, max, you're done. That's all you're going to do. If you're going to do more than that, you can get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why do you think?
Forget about it.
Why do you think Scorsese's doing The Irishman? 4-hour-long fucking movie. Why do you think it's going to Netflix? Because we said no.
God damn, that's right. I forgot how long that movie is.
We said no. Andy Machete, I'm looking at you. 3 hours for an It movie? Fucking ridiculous. Get the fuck out.
Is.
There's the fucking door.
It ruined the movie for me.
There's the fucking door. You ruined all the suspense with your fucking long runtime. Get the fuck out. There's your fucking door. Here's your fucking sign. Get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. You see the way he was looking at me? He was going out that fucking door. Fuck that motherfucker.
Fuck him.
All right, everybody else, you in? All right, Spielberg. Yo, I'm looking at you. 2 hours. That's it. You doing Indiana Jones 5? 90 minutes for that. 90 minutes for that shit. Don't fucking blow that shit out. All right, let's be real. No one wants to see him no more. He's like 82. He's gonna die in a plane crash next year. You're not even gonna get a film out of him. Forget about it. All right, we're done fucking around. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get into some fucking news. All right, Jay, let's get down to some fucking news.
Yes.
All right, man, first up on the docket, James Gunn has announced everyone who will be in his The Suicide Squad. Because when you add the to something, Jay, it elevates it. Like all those NFL players who are from the Ohio State.
I know. Why do they do that? It's so weird.
The University of Missouri.
Yeah.
You add the in front of something, it immediately makes it more important.
No,
So
not the.
So the, hail thee. Like you're talking like Thor. What does the mean? No, so it's like, Evil Dead became, when they did a remake, it was The Evil Dead. Predator gets a remake, The Predator. So now Suicide Squad's getting a remake from James Gunn, and we're not going to put a number behind it. We're not going to say it's a reboot. We're just going to say it's a thing that's going on. It's The Suicide Squad. All right, but he's announced all the actors that are going to be in it. Margot Robbie going to be reprising her role as Harley Quinn. Taika Waititi, my friend, is going to be in it.
My man.
Jai Courtney, Captain Boomerang, Nathan Fillion, David Desmalchian is playing Polka Dot Man. Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller. John Cena is in talks right now to join the cast. There's a lot of things going on here. Now, he did not say who each person was going to be playing, but believe me, rumors are abound about everybody. Joel Kinnaman will be back as Randall Flagg, and it's rumored that Michael Rooker is going to be King Shark, which in the same way that Digimon Hansu was, I get that name right.
Well, we have known him for a very long time.
Was Killer Croc, and the last one, Michael Rooker, from the Guardians of the Galaxy films, will be King Shark. There's a whole slew of new characters that are getting added. I'm actually pretty excited about this cast. If I'm going to be honest with you, I
am too, and I'm very hopeful for this one because I do believe they will be righting a lot of wrongs that were done in the first movie. So I think it only could be better. You can't get much worse than the first movie. It's really not a good film.
No, it's not. But no matter what, Jay, you cannot take away the fact that it is the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad. Best costume design.
I will never say that.
Suicide Squad. It's still there. You can't take it away from it. Reportedly, John Cena is going to be playing Peacemaker. But what everyone wants to know is who is Idris Elba in this film. That's what everyone wants to know. A lot of people. The first rumor was that they've recast Deadshot, and that it's no longer Will Smith. That it's going to be Idris Elba. That's kind of been put to bed. So a lot of people are wondering, who's he going to be? The front runners are he's going to be playing Bronze Tiger, or I like this one. He could be Slade Wilson.
Slade. Wow, his name is really fun to say dramatically.
Slade.
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 Or villain.
Deathstroke. But we know that Joe Manganiello was already cast as Deathstroke, but that was for Ben Affleck's Batman film, which isn't happening.
And it would make sense that it would be Idris because he has the physicality.
Oh my God, does he not? Yeah.
And,
oh my God,
Dave's going to have a chub the whole running time.
Tell me more about his physicality. What makes him
Did you see him with his shirt off?
Did you see him in his kickboxing debut? He actually fought a real professional kickboxer in the ring. Watch it. It's on YouTube. It's a documentary. It's fascinating. He trained.
Really?
He trained in 3 months to take a guy on. Oh yeah. Yeah. He was a professional fighter for a short time. While he was a famous actor, by the way. We're not talking like Idris Elba before he was famous.
See, I know about his DJ projects and stuff like that. I know he had a documentary about that, I believe, or a short film.
No, this is legit. He was a legit fighter. Look it up.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He kind of flies under the radar. He does his own thing. But again, he's very British as well.
He's also been married 4 times. He's on his 5th marriage, I think.
Yeah.
Marriage. Yeah. He can't hold him down.
He likes his women.
So, yeah.
I think a little too much.
Yeah, if he were to hit me, he would quit me. And I'd have a story to tell, though. I have a story to tell. And here's McAfee again. Are you sure you want to continue unprotected?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. So the other rumor is that he could be playing Sportsmaster. Well, everyone else out there in the world is wondering who Idris Elba is playing. I am wondering who Nathan Fillion is playing, because that has me curious. Secretly, in my heart of hearts, because he's the voice of Green Lantern in all the animated films, I'm hoping it's a cameo of him as Hal Jordan as Green Lantern. Doubtful. Certainly a cameo is what he's going to be doing, but it's doubtful.
That's not going to happen. But it would be amazing.
He's probably going to be something like Calendar Man,
he comes at the end of the movie,
Condiment King, or something ridiculous.
I guess so.
Yeah, but all the rumors are that that David Dasmanovich, David D. is going to be as Polka Dot Man.
As I like to say, Double D.
Double D is that he is. I can say Digimon Hansu, but I can't say this dude's fucking name, even though he's been in a ton of movies now. But that he's going to be playing Polka Dot Man, and much like Slipknot in the last film, he's going to be the first one to die. So, look, I'm looking forward to this film. I'm hoping that the new direction of Warner Brothers.
High hopes.
Yeah. Hoping that the new direction of Warner Brothers is going to take us in a direction that we want to go, and is going to be bringing us films that we want to see. Next news story. Hey, bud. James Cameron wants you to know he's not upset that Avengers Endgame beat Avatar in the box office.
Bullshit.
In fact, he's hopeful for it because the dude who sells all the projectors and has been pushing digital cinema for the past 20 years is happy that people are still going to the movies. Read between the lines. It gives him hope for cinema, that it's not going away. And you know what? It gives me hope, too, that I don't have to live in a world where a 3-hour-long James Cameron film with blue people is going to rule the screen forever.
All I want for Christmas is for those Avatar movies to be canceled. Just stop it.
See, also
Please
want for Christmas is for them just to actually be fucking done so we can stop fucking talking about them. I want them, look, here's the thing. If they're going to do them, I want them to be good. If they're not going to do them, again, constipation, shit or get off the pot. The movie Illuminati is stepping in. Hey, James Cameron, look, you gotta make these fucking movies, dude. You gotta fucking make the movies. If you're not gonna make the fucking movies, you gotta go. Or you gotta produce them, and you gotta let someone fucking come in like, I don't know, Tim Miller, come in and direct it.
Dave, are you not worried? I am super worried about these films. I think they're gonna be garbage.
I don't care. I have no affinity or love for the original Avatar.
It's been so long. He's been in development trying to make these things and get them off the ground for so long.
There's 2 movies that have came out in the past 20 years that I can say I can watch that movie on mute and get the the same message that I got watching the movie with sound, and that is the 300 with Gerard Butler.
True.
Zack Snyder film. Beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful fights. There's some great action one-liners in it that I like, but ultimately I can watch that movie on mute. And then there is Avatar. I can watch that
Avatar.
movie.
I can't watch it on TV.
No, it's terrible. I have a 4K TV. So
IMAX 3D, phenomenal. And that's it.
I have a 4K TV, so it pops when it's on. It's not 3D because I didn't jump on that fad like some other people did. Paul, countdown, looking at you. You got 3D glasses. He doesn't even have batteries in those 3D glasses. I guarantee you, he hasn't used them in years.
I knew that was going to flop. I'm just surprised that so many people actually went all in on it.
Next news story. All right, Jay, we've been hearing a lot about Bill Skarsgård and his role as Pennywise in Stephen King's It adaptations by Andy Muschietti. People have been blowing his dick for the past 2 years over that shit. We blew his dick last week when we reviewed it because he's one of the best parts of that series. Mm-hmm. But his brother's not to be outdone, goddammit. Alexander Skarsgård has been confirmed that he will too be in a Stephen King adaptation.
Yes.
And he will be playing Randall Flagg in the Stand miniseries that's going to be coming to CBS. Now, previously, Randall Flagg is also known by a man of many names. He's also known by the Man in Black. And the Man in Black, Jay, ran across the desert and the gunslinger followed. Yeah. So Randall Flagg was technically previously played by, the role of Randall Flagg will now be played by Alexander Skarsgård. It was previously played by Matthew McConaughey. All right.
That is true.
I'm actually excited for The Stand. It's one of my favorite Stephen King books, one of my favorite Stephen King stories.
However,
one of my favorite things for them to adapt, and not once have I gotten an adaptation that wasn't that was good.
But Dave, we have a small hiccup.
What's that?
It is only playing through CBS All Access.
Yeah, that's okay. I have means. I have ways, sir.
Well, Dave does have more ins and ways than I do, so I give him that. And to be honest, this is not 100% a J movie, so I'm gonna let this fly. I am sure I will catch it eventually when it does branch out to Amazon
But it's
Prime.
Alexander Skarsgård,
and I like Alexander, I really do, but still.
He's a vampire in True Blood.
Not anymore.
Suck it. Next news story. All right, Jay, you love this actress, Haley Steinfeld. She's one of your favorite little gems.
Cute as a
coming
button.
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a good talent.
She's one of the few reasons that you should watch Transformers Bumblebee, because I thought she was adorable in that. I thought it was I thought that was hands down the best Transformers movie was Bumblebee.
And I think everybody agrees. However, it didn't make the same kind of money. So
but
they're giving another shot, I believe. I think they're going to try and do another one.
It's tied for the first Transformers for fun, lightheartedness. And
I think this sequel is going to be a little bit more transformered up.
Well,
so
she's got a new job, Jay. A whole new job.
Good
apparently.
for her.
The rumor is that she is in the short running to play Kate Bishop in the Disney Plus series Hawkeye. And I
love it.
Love this casting.
Love it.
Kate Bishop in the comics, she's smarter than Clint. She's sassy. She's.
I remember you telling me about her right after Endgame.
I hesitate to say the word plucky.
Dude, don't call us plucky. We don't know what it means.
And I love the character of Kate Bishop, and I really enjoy Haley Steinfeld's performances. I love what she brings to characters and stuff. So I actually look forward to this. I think that this would be great casting, and it's showing that. I mean, of course, Disney, the House of Mouse, where they literally created the Scrooge McDuck vault of money, doesn't have to worry about how much they have to pay their actors for these Disney Plus shows, because they're going to be raking in the money. I mean, they already have Disney Plus.
Stupid money.
Disney Plus has already sold so many pre-subscriptions, because after D23, they did for 2 weeks. You could jump on board, and for $140, you got 3 years of Disney Plus.
And you and I jumped
3
on
years. That. Crazy. And yeah, we jumped on that. But anyway, that has me excited even more so for the Hawkeye TV series. It's one of the Disney Plus, MCU shows that's coming that I am truly excited for. So, I'm intrigued by a lot of them, but this one truly has me excited because it's going to be based on one of my favorite comic runs of the past 5-10 years. Next news story. All right, Jay, speaking of Disney, Marvel, all that stuff, they had a pilot for a show. It was New Warriors, and that was actually filmed some time ago. Now, the problem with New Warriors, Jay, was that it couldn't find a home. It was actually originally supposed to go to Freeform, which is kind of like the Disney family or whatever the hell it was. But they ended up not picking up the pilot. Now, this stars some people that you might recognize. You remember the girl that was in all of those AT&T commercials? The one that everyone was in love with?
Sure.
Viliana Weintraub. She was supposed to be playing Squirrel Girl, who is like, she's kind of like low-key, like a Marvel favorite and stuff like that. She controls squirrels and has the...
You've seen her in a lot of different little random things.
She has the proportionate strength of a squirrel, as Squirrel Girl, and she once defeated Dr. Doom. So she's got some clout. It was going to be this type of show that kind of like straddled the line of like comedy and superhero action and stuff like that. It was supposed to be a lot of fun. However, apparently the pilot sucks. No one wants to pick it up, and not even Disney Plus wants to pick it up. So it's canceled. Not happening. Not going anywhere. The pilot is the only thing that exists of it, and nobody outside of the studio system has really seen it, unfortunately.
It's common in Hollywood. This stuff happens all the time. It is what it is.
Dude, and Marvel should be gun shy because they put out that Inhumans, pilot that was 2 hours long. They paid money put it on IMAX screens for people to go see it.
Yeah.
And the problem was when you blew those effects up and you put them on IMAX in clear digital picture, you see all the problems.
Then it looks like a TV show or TV money.
It was a TV show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. TV effects don't translate to a movie screen, and not just a movie screen, fucking IMAX.
Not only that, the storyline kind of sucked. The acting sucked, and it just, nothing was firing on all cylinders for it. I did watch the pilot and stuff, but I didn't pay money to see it, for Christ's sakes. So, maybe Disney's just, and Marvel, they're with a failure like that under them, they're like, you know what? Let's not force things that don't work. Let's not force things that no one in our circle is liking. We can't force our audience to like it as well. Right. So smart business stuff. Next news story. All right, Jay. Todd Phillips has come out to say he has no plans personally. Personally, he has no plans for a Joker sequel. He's not going to do a Joker sequel. It's not going to happen. I like...
They've announced that since day one.
I like that he's saying that. I really do. Let's see what Warner Brothers says once the box office starts rolling in for it. If it really is truly what everyone's saying that it is, and it starts making some boo-goo fucking bucks in the next couple weeks, because it's coming out at a great time in early October when there's nothing else out, and it's got that DC logo on it, and it's a fan favorite character that's starring in it, it might wind up getting more butts in the seats than people were expecting it to do.
Oh, it's already projected at over $100 million over the opening weekend.
Dude, that's got sequel written all over.
And for a movie like this...
Now, Joaquin Phoenix is not a sequel guy. He himself has said he never wants to do sequels.
That's why he didn't do Doctor Strange. He turned it down.
Yeah, because he didn't want to sign contracts. He doesn't like doing that. But we'll see what happens in the future, man, because money talks so well. Next news story. All right, Jay, this is the most like bullshit news story in the entire world. I'm sorry for even be bringing this up to everybody. Dan Aykroyd's going to return for Ghostbusters 2020. He's going to be playing Ray Stantz. Look, he's a producer on the film. He's a writer on the film. Of course he was going to be in the fucking movie.
Of course.
Of course he's going to be.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
But what's intriguing is that, he's saying he's going to be Ray Stantz. So if he's Ray Stantz and not doing some bullshit cameo as a cabbie saying, it's just a class 5 free-forming vapor, nothing to worry about. He's not doing some stupid shtick like that. Then, it kind of gives me hope for the film that they're, maybe it's doing it right. Dan Aykroyd's not always the best barometer for measurement on whether someone's doing something right, because he also appeared as Ray Stantz in Casper, the Friendly Ghost, the live action movie, where he said, no, that's canon. I was Ray Stantz in that movie. I was the Ghostbuster. And I ran away from Casper and his ghostly, gruesome uncles. So, take it with a grain of salt. It kind of has me, a little bit excited for the 2020 Ghostbusters. But what has me more excited for that 2020 Ghostbusters, as we talked when we broke the news story, well, we didn't break it, but when we reported on it last, is that Jason Reitman is directing it, and I have a lot of faith in him that he's really the one that's holding the pen in the end,
it's
and not
certainly
Dan Aykroyd.
Exciting, yes.
Next news story. All right, Jay, final news story. We get the Birds of Prey poster. We got that extremely lackluster trailer that appeared before it, which I guess purposely was a fake out to everybody in the crowd where the balloons come up and you think the clown's coming and it turns out to be Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while, and they played that
You
card.
liked it? I when I saw it, I was like, fuck this. Like, fuck you and fuck this.
It's exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 100% what they were trying to do. This could be a hot mess, or it could be a hot ball of fun.
So the poster has Harley Quinn sporting a new tattoo. It's pink around her neck, and it says "Mind Over Mayhem," which is meant to represent the fact that she's a more thoughtful individual now. She's no longer under the Joker's spell, and she's doing things for herself. Hence, Mind Over Mayhem. And it sees all the rest of the cast. They are present there with their cherubic wings, and they're flying around in her batshit crazy head, which is kind of like what this film's going to be, because the subtitle of it is The Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. So this is, like we said before, this is very much the Harley Quinn movie mixed with Birds of Prey. And, in the rest of the...
I think is the smarter way to do it.
In the rest of the poster, we're kind of getting our looks at Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who will be playing the Huntress, Journey Smollett-Bell, who is playing Black Canary, Sandra Kane, who's playing Ella J. Bosco, Renee Montoya, who's playing Rosie Perez. I'm sorry, every time I see Rosie Perez, can't help but think of White Man Can't Jump. It's really the only thing I know her from.
Me too.
That and Money Train. Wasn't she in Money Train? No, it was Jennifer Lopez in Money Train. And it shows Black Mask, who's being played by a guy you and I love.
Hello there.
Ewan McGregor.
Who may be the only reason that I go see this movie is Ewan McGregor.
I know.
It's funny how you and I could be so hopeful for the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad! And we can look at Birds of Prey and just go, no.
I mean, I just don't know anything about it. I don't know what to make of it. It all depends on the story and the script, like how they write the characters, how the story is. I don't think it's going to be too much.
But let's face
special
it, with their marketing so far, even you and I are just like the way everything seems. It seems pretty hodgepodge. She's pretty mismatched. It seems like
I know it's a bit of a mess.
It seems like they had two ideas that they wanted to do.
You know
and
what they should be doing? They should be doing the Deadpool route, and they can't even do something.
I think that's 100% what they're trying to ape.
I think they're
wait until marketing.
They're trying to sort of trickle that in, but it's not quite working.
Wait until marketing gets full flung on this. I really do think that this is going to wind up being Deadpool. I think that's exactly what they are trying to do with this. Now, this doesn't release until February 7th of this year. So come October, probably with the Joker film, we're going to get a full trailer for this.
Yes.
I think that's when we're going to get a full trailer. We'll get to do a full trailer. Me and Jay didn't do a trailer park breakdown for the last trailer because it was literally
it
1
wasn't worthy.
second clips.
No.
Not enough for us to really pick anything apart to talk about. But when we get that full trailer, we'll definitely dive in deep.
Oh, absolutely.
And me and Jay will be able to start forming, more opinions.
More of a cohesive thought of this movie.
Because right now,
we really have no idea what
our
to say
thought
about it.
is based off of Warner Brothers and their track record that we've had with them and kind of what we're seeing from the marketing. And it just doesn't seem like it's anything you and I are like, let's go see this. With the exception of Ewan McGregor. I might pay to see Ewan McGregor as Black Mask because you and I both watched the Batman Under the Red Hood, and Black Mask is great in that, right?
Great. Really great.
He just punches one of his own thugs in the face.
I love it.
So I'm hoping Ewan McGregor can kind of play it with like that level of unhinged anger.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really do. I hope they don't do a PG-13 version of it.
Here's how I picture Ewan McGregor in it. Very suave, very debonair, very very charming and stuff like that. Loses it on the drop of a dime though. And I would love to see Ewan McGregor
that would be pretty cool.
like that. So, that's
something we don't see enough of,
Well, that's going to do it for me and Jay's news this week. Let's head over. Let's get into some beers because me and Jay got a top 5 for realistic space movies to come.
I'm thirsty.
Welcome back to the beer segment. Me and Jay got 2 beers that we are going to be reviewing for you, but before we do that, got to drop a line to our sponsor, Blowfish. Blowfish is the only FDA-approved hangover cure. What it is, 2 tablets that you drop into 8 to 12 ounces of water. You drink that down, and your hangover starts to feel better immediately.
Yep.
So if you drove into the city for a Boxcar Legends event, and you're just feeling oh so super indie, walking around in your plaid shirt with your mustache curled just right and your square frame glasses on, and you were doing a little bit of a whiskey tasting and you had just a little bit too much to drink, then you're going to want to reach for yourself some Blowfish. So head over to 4hangovers.com. Use the promo code SMBFish and get your 15% off.
You needn't take it any further, son. I'm cured. Praise God.
You're not cured yet, boy.
Super Movie Brothers is no longer brought to you by the Podcoin app because the Podcoin app is no longer. So, therefore, we can no longer do ads for Podcoin. You cannot find Super Movie Brothers on Podcoin, nor can you find any podcast on Podcoin because Podcoin does not exist.
Bye-bye.
It is dead. It has ceased to be. And
Yeah. Trial and error. It's a shame.
if you're still holding on to any coins and the app is still up at the time that you're hearing this, make sure that you donate those coins because I donated my coins and I fed some puppies with it. And I feel better about that.
You should, Dave.
All right, Jay, you're drinking a beer, man. It's a beer that I drank before, and I didn't like it. So let's hear what you got to take on it.
It's not too bad. It is Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company's 1682. It is 5.8 alcohol by volume. And I
sure
believe
it's not 16 Dickety 2? We have to use the word Dickety because the Kaiser stole our word for 80.
I know, right? You would think. So this one is it's an interesting little beer because it doesn't have a traditional type of flavor. It's kind of like a Kolsch. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Kolsch?
yeah, it's
a Kolsch beer.
And it's wet hopped, if I remember right.
Yeah, it is wet hopped. And it's got a lot of different kind of little flavor notes to it. And it is mild. It's very drinkable. But it is kind of flat. It doesn't have any kind of great flavors that really wants you to keep coming back to another can, of this beer.
Right.
It's kind of a one and doneer, I would say, for the most part.
It's kind of like
it's a little unfortunate.
It's traditional German meets, East Coast Pale Ale. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do either of those things very well at all.
It's to me, it's just fine. I'm not hating on it too much, but it's a 2.75 for me. Out of 5, I it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when you were kind of down on it, but it's not the best either.
All right, and I am drinking Paper Trail Indian Pale Ale, and this is from Urban Village Brewing Company out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right off of 2nd Street in good old No Libs.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Northern Liberties. Man, this thing is it's pretty well crafted. It's very very dry hopped up front. It's got nice, juicy, mellow notes in the middle. Finishes off with just a slight bit of bitter. Leaves your tongue feeling a little bit cottony. It's got some great flavor. It just doesn't really like nail it home. You know what I mean? Like there's
right.
no one bold flavor that stands out where you're just like, wow, God, yeah, that's good. But it is pretty all right. Like I'm enjoying my time with it here.
And the can design is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it is a hipster. Like a Northern Liberties hipster in his flannel and his jeans with a sideways trucker cap, but the hipster is Mr. Moneybags from Monopoly.
Yeah,
but he's dressed as a hipster. So yeah, it's all kinds of clevers and whatnots. But I do like this. I'm giving it a 3.75. It's not anything magical. It's not anything perfect. But
it's a very good beer.
I really enjoy it. Yeah, so 3.75. All right, Jay, you and I got a top 5 list to do.
Yes.
Neither one of us got ourselves out to the theaters to see anything. The only thing that really came out that was worth going to see was Hustlers, but you and I had an extremely busy weekend.
We did.
And we're both looking forward to seeing AD Astra. So
very much so.
We spent some of our free time going over some of the other realistic space movies that are out there. I mean, we could talk about space movies that are sci-fi,
fantasy, stuff like that, but we really tried to stay away from that.
Yeah, stuff
even
that's-
any kind of like really like even like an Armageddon type movie.
Right. Something grounded
Doesn't
in
quite
real
qualify,
science.
right.
I would have allowed Armageddon. I told you last night that's allowed if you wanted it.
It's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something that's somewhat grounded in real science and real reality. Like if Neil deGrasse Tyson has done a commentary for it, it could go on this list. That's the way I'm looking at it. So let's go over and let's do our top 5. What do you say? Realistic space films? Realistic space movies?
Yeah, that's fine.
Why not? Realistic space movies. All right, fair warning. Luca has entered the studio. So if you hear some heavy breathing, something that sounds like a creeper, like you want to, call child social services because there's a pedophile on the loose, that's my dog.
Believe it or not, it's not me.
Yeah, it's not Jack. Luca has a habit of just wanting to get underneath the table, put his face up while we're recording and stuff.
Well, let's be honest, he's our mascot.
Yeah, so
you gotta let him do his thing.
You hear some knocks, you hear some bumps. It's not Jay's drunk ass, dropping something. It's my dog. Anyway, we didn't have a movie to review this week, although we did get Battle of Big Rock, which was fun to watch and fun to talk about. We didn't go to the theaters. We didn't see Hustlers because it really wasn't either you or I's bag. That clearly smacks of something that we would watch 100% on a Saturday night on HBO. Not something we'd pay to go to the theaters to see. So what do we do, Jay? What do we do when we don't have a movie to review? We do a top 5. That's what we're going to do. So
we love our top 5s.
Yeah, we do. And you and I are excited about AD Astra coming out next week.
Yes.
This Brad Pitt film that looks very much like almost like a thriller because they're kind of adding that level of mystery to it with what's going on with Tommy Lee Jones.
But I think it's actually secretly more of an understated film.
So while watching the trailers, I was like, okay, so this is like Contact 2019, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So maybe Contact will be on one of our lists because we're going to be doing top 5 realistic space movies. So when we say realistic, what we say is we wanted them to be somewhat grounded in like real science in some way where you feel like this is something that could be real. So like things like Serenity.
Or could happen.
Yeah, right. Things like Star Trek, Serenity, Star Wars, all that stuff is out. Like this is more stuff that's grounded in reality. It's NASA or it's something of the ilk. And it's not too far flung in the future like Alien or anything like that we can't resonate with the technology that we're looking at.
Well, my number 5 could be way up your list or could be crossing the line. I'm not 100% sure yet.
All right. Well,
I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
What is your number 5 realistic space movie?
So, Interstellar.
Everybody good? Plenty of slaves for my robot colony?
I gave him a humor setting so he'd fit in better with his unit. Thinks it relaxes us.
A giant, sarcastic robot. What a great idea.
I just absolutely respect and adore this movie because of what Christopher Nolan's, and let's just be honest, Jonathan Nolan actually wrote this along with him, had this vision, had the balls, had the equipment and the detail-oriented aspect to really go for broke.
Ambitious as fuck.
Ambitious as fuck. But again, to keep it on my number 5, the fact that it didn't have the rewatchability for me. And it was so bald, so out there, so intelligent, where it was a little too intelligent for me, I think, at times.
All right. Fair enough. For you, I can see that. Something too intelligent for you.
I deeply appreciate this movie. There's so many good things in it.
It gets heavy into physics for sure. Like
that's where it kind of loses me sometimes.
Where at times, like that's kind of like the meat and potatoes of this story. Like this story couldn't happen without these heavy quantum physics to go. Because anytime you want something to sound expensive, Jay, just add quantum in front of it.
Quantum.
Yeah, that's why I tell customers at work. I tell customers at work. I was like, oh yeah, your quantum torque inverter is actually frozen, so we're gonna have to replace your entire transmission. They're like, wow, quantum torque inverter? I was like, yeah, it actually powers your car by traveling it through space and time through a wormhole. It's going to cost you $5,000. Anyway, Jay, my number 5 is a film that you and I previously kind of said shouldn't be on this list. And then I said, fuck you. You don't tell me what goes on my list.
I think I know which one.
It's a little bit of a rebellious streak for me. It's Danny Boyle's Sunshine.
Oh, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, I know.
Our sun is dying. Mankind faces extinction. 16 months ago, I, Robert Capa, and a crew of 7 left Earth frozen in a solar winter. Our mission: reignite the sun before it's too late. Welcome to Icarus 2.
Oh, man, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, it's pretty far flung in the future, I'll admit. And
I love that movie.
And some of the science in it is, it's not as grounded as it could, but they really did try with the UV filters and stuff like that, and the heat shielding on it. So like,
yeah.
When I watch it, I buy the science of it extremely well. Like, I buy the science of it. I feel like this, in the year 2300, maybe this is something that could happen. Yeah, that's Luca moving. Sorry. Maybe this is something that could happen, but it's very much a problem that is grounded in realistic science as well. Our sun will die someday.
Yes, and that's one of the great things about this story.
Yeah.
Because it's a plausible thing. It's going to happen.
We just got a movie this year, Jay, that was called The Sun Is Also a Star. Never had truer words been said, Crusader, because all stars die. They become, red giants, some of them, and then become white dwarves, and then they fizzle out and they die before the entire universe collapses in on itself again, and then explodes miraculously in a great ball of fire and explosion, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, open and closed universe theory and all that, quantum physics, quantum.
It's a superior film.
It is.
Until possibly the final act. Where it loses a lot of people.
For me, it doesn't lose me in the final act. I just understand that the film is changing gears from this sci-fi setting.
It almost goes
to a thriller, to a horror film.
It almost goes like Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in or Hollywood, because it's just.
But it sets its third act up well, because they pepper in throughout that staring at the sun.
Sure.
Anything less than 1% of the shield's capability can cause sun psychosis, which is where the entire antithesis for this script came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the characters in it. I love Cillian Murphy in it. You know, I don't love some of the ancillary characters in it, like Rose Byron's hit
Chris
or miss
Evans?
in this. Chris Evans is okay in it. I love his sacrifice scene. Spoilers, sorry.
True.
But this film came out, 2 or 3 years after 28 Days Later. So if you hadn't seen it, then shame on you. I really like this film. I feel like it's an underrated Danny Boyle film, much like The Beach, where it's another Danny Boyle film that I really enjoy.
I never liked The Beach.
Oh, I like The Beach.
However, it's been a while since I've seen it. So
I believe there's a TV show in the make for The Beach too.
Really?
So they're bringing it back.
I'm probably due for a revisit, to be honest, because it's been some time.
Look, Sunshine. I love the visuals of it too. So many sci-fi movies and so many of these realistic space films are filled with fluorescent lighting, because it's space, it's darkness and stuff. So they have this.
That's the kind of lighting that they would use in ships.
This is different. This is bright. This is yellow. This is sunshine. Like, that's the lighting they used, is sun. And I love that. And anytime they get into the interior of the ship and they're talking about things that are not near the sunlight, it's a very dark conversation and stuff like. So like they did something with the cinematography for it as well that really sells this sun psychosis third act twist that a lot of people have problems with. But to me, it just makes visual and just third act structure sense to me that it would come to this point. So that's my number 5, Jay. I don't want to belabor on it too much, since I know it's not on your list.
No, obviously, I like that movie a lot, so I'm not gonna knock on you for putting it on your list.
But you're mad at me because I didn't let you put it on yours.
Sort of, because to be honest, it probably would be on my list. But maybe just number 5. But anyway,
what's your number 4?
I will put Gravity at number 4.
Explorer, this is Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Mission abort. Repeat. Mission abort.
Explorer, this is Kowalski confirming visual contact with debris.
I really adore and love the spectacle of this movie. I mean, at the time, this was something that was mind-boggling. Saw this in IMAX 3D.
Didn't this have like an extremely short filming cycle too? Like, wasn't this like not filmed over like a very long time? Like, this was very much a short.
It's only an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a short. I'm pretty. I know you didn't do the research, so I'm sorry to put you on the spot. But I think this was a very short like filming schedule for them. Like, I know George Clooney was only on set for like 2 days.
Well, he is a very small character in this movie. He has essentially 2 scenes, 3-ish maybe. But he is pivotal as far as the story, and for at least Ryan, played by Sandra Bullock. So, there was an accident. The 2 astronauts, they were working together on this mission, and then after this accident happens, she loses her partner, played by George Clooney, and Sandra Bullock's character Ryan is left on her own without any kind of contact, trying to figure out a way to survive and navigate her way back home and safe and sound to Earth.
I love it. I saw this movie twice. I'd want to say I do love the film.
Me too. Only twice. I am due for a revisit, but
can I be honest? Woo. Neil deGrasse Tyson ruined this film for me.
Really?
Yeah. So I one of my secret favorite things that kind of what spawned this list was Neil deGrasse Tyson loves doing movie commentaries for these type of realistic sci-fi films that are grounded in real science and stuff like that, and he loves blowing their real science apart and destroying it. And one of the things he blew apart was the whole space debris moving as fast as it did to destroy the shuttle that they were fixing and stuff. So
I remember hearing some flack about certain things with that.
Yeah.
But
he also talked about he talks about trajectory and all that. But he gets super into physics when he's talking about.
See, how do you live your life, man?
But these are the type of movies that we're talking about. Like if the movies on our list, if Neil deGrasse Tyson has done a commentary for it, it could go on this list. And
that is true.
And he's done it.
That's funny. Yeah.
And he's done it for Gravity. Yeah. So it could go on this list. Look, if you are a super uber nerd like me and you love just absorbing information like a stupid parrot to repeat it like a sponge like I do, then watch Neil deGrasse Tyson's, go watch his commentaries or listen to his commentaries for some of these movies, because it'll blow your fucking mind, but he's also extremely entertaining and he makes you laugh. Like I watch it because I love knowing stupid facts about nothing. Like that's what I do in life. Like, is I know things for no other reason than to use them in this medium that we do. But like Neil deGrasse Tyson is also entertaining to me, and he blew this film apart while watching it. But he also pays it a lot of respects, especially for that George Clooney scene that we're just discussing.
All right,
so, yeah. I love this film, and it's not on my list, but only because I think, Jay, I've only seen it twice, I want to say.
Yeah, well, I saw it twice as well, but it also knocked my socks off, and I certainly respect what the filmmakers did and what Sandra Bullock did with this movie, and I really highly enjoyed it. It's a great, intimate character study of survival, but also some fun and physics as well.
It really takes, like, I know we're going a little long here, but that's one more thing. Like, it really takes space. Like, we watch these survival movies, right? Like,
and it's taut. It's like I said, it's only 90 minutes long, so it's a very compact film.
We watch these survival movies, like, let's say, like The Edge. With Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin, and they're going up against a bear, right? Like, or we watch 127 Hours where his arm is trapped, or we watch, Christopher McCandless in Into the Wilderness and stuff like that.
Sure.
Man versus nature. This is, woman, human versus the vacuum of space, right? Like that's the thriller aspect of it. Because there's a few times in this movie where, like, my heart's in my chest. I'm like, she's fucking running out of air. She's running out of air. Like, what is she gonna do? She got to the Chinese thing. Yes, like you get excited for her.
And
a
big part of that is because of Kron. He's an excellent filmmaker. Big fan.
All right, my number 4, Jay, is our good buddy Ridley Scott. I understand. No one really liked Prometheus, and Fox doesn't want me to do Alien Covenant because no one liked Prometheus. So I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna make myself The Martian. I'm gonna make The Martian. I'm gonna take this book everyone fucking loves. I'm gonna fucking make it, and everyone's gonna fucking suck my dick, and then I'll get to ruin the Alien franchise all over again.
I really hope people are going to be able to see Dave's impression on YouTube now.
just my Ridley Scott drinking his scotch and smoking his cigar, which is the sound.
I'll let you hold my bourbon when you're going to do that like shtick. I'll pass you a cigar. We'll have a studio cigar for you just to bite on when you're doing his impression.
Right, yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's just like, yeah, I'll be your studio shooter. I'll do what you want me to do. And that's Ridley Scott to me. I know it's not what he really sounds like, but
that's our Super Movie Bros interpretation of Ridley Scott.
Look, Ridley Scott, like he did this film that is based on a fan favorite novel. Like people who read this novel absolutely loved it, and you know it is a really good novel. And I would say, you know, I read the novel. I actually like the film better because of Matt Damon. I think Matt Damon's acting as Wachney is fantastic.
I'm about to leave for the Schiaparelli crater where I'm going to commandeer the Ares 4 lander. Nobody explicitly gave me permission to do this, and they can't until I'm on board the Ares 4. So that means I'm going to be taking a craft over in international waters without permission, which by definition makes me a pirate. Mark Watney, space pirate.
There's this line in the film that I absolutely love. It's the clip that I played before it was coming in about being, you know, space pirate, right? Like I love that line. I just love this idea of both this geopolitical aspect that's going on Earth, while there is the very real world survival situation of dealing with a planet that, you know, and living on this planet and surviving for 200 odd some days. Meanwhile, the crew in space who's on their way home decides to come back and you know, risk court-martial and mutiny to rescue their comrade and stuff. It's a wonderful story, and it's really well told. It has a good amount of laughs and a good amount of feel-good moments in it, but it also has a lot of action. It has a lot of drama, and I don't think anyone else could have played this role but Matt Damon. And I gotta say, like, Ridley Scott is not the reason that this is on my list. As much as I respect Ridley Scott as a filmmaker from the 80s, nothing past that. Nothing past Down on the Ways, really, except for Gladiator. You know, I really respect the performance that Matt Damon put into this because I thought it was fantastic.
Well, I do like Matchstick Men, by the way. I am still a sucker for that movie.
Ever heard of a line? Hey, have you ever been dragged to the sidewalk and beat until you pissed blood?
Oh, we have to put that clip in now. All right, Jay, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is First Man.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
All right. I knew this had to make your list because this is from your boy. Say his name properly so I don't make fun of it too much.
Damien Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle.
Yes.
Damien Chazelle.
It is written by Josh Singer, who did Spotlight, The Post.
He's
done some good things.
The guy who did The Post and
yes. So this follows Neil Armstrong and his journey, along with other people at the time, for the space race. You know, the classic space race against Russia to try and be the first, you know, country, first people to land on the moon successfully and return home. You know, there's a stellar, deep cast. I'm not even going to list the names. All top notch. One of the great things about this movie for me, even though it's not a perfect movie, it does get better with repeat viewings. I know it's very old fashioned in some ways and very dull at some points as well and understated. It is very poignant. It's very emotional at times, but it's also very thrilling because there are some action sequences that are absolutely top notch and really, you know, edge of your seat that we haven't seen before in any kind of action or space movie before, and it's completely thrilling. I like that aspect, and you try to keep it more of a practical effect element more with it.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Look, I watched this movie. You know, I watched this movie. I reviewed it on the show. I enjoyed the movie for what it was in the practical nature of it retelling the story of the space race from Neil Armstrong's point of view. I really felt that Ryan Gosling's performance was something that I had seen from Ryan Gosling before. It was very much his character in Drive. You know, it's very quiet. It's very understated. There's an emotion that is going on under the surface of this placid nature of the character, and I respect him because he does that really well.
But
he's an
apparently
actor who does
that's
that
how
well.
Neil Armstrong was. So,
I'm not disputing
that's partially the problem, though.
I'm not
That's the
disputing.
thing, because he is a
But
very
what this-
stoic person.
In the end, watching this movie, what I realized this movie was this was 2 hours of me leading up to a man who walked on the moon, walked walked to a canyon and threw a piece of junk jewelry into it and then shrugged his shoulders and walked away. It's what every American does when we see the Grand Canyon. We go, well, all right. Well, that was it. All right, let's go. It's over. It was, look, the spectacle that was around it didn't match what was going on screen for me. Like
I think he took his time with it a little too much. I think he needed to tighten up the running time a little bit more. I'll say this. It was nominated for its visuals, but it was also nominated and won for sound editing, and 100% I agree. Like one of the best sound editing things I have heard. Like it's amazing. There was moments when I felt like you were in that tin can. I saw this in Dolby theaters, right? So like at that moment that he's in the plane and pieces of it are falling apart. Like even though I know Neil Armstrong has to survive because the year on it says 1959, and I know motherfucker walks on the moon 1969. So I know that one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I know he says it. I know he can't die here. But the sound editing was so jarring and just so like how did these guys do this? It's amazing. Like, I felt it in my chest because I was seeing it in Dolby Theater, and I feared for him for like there were times, especially when he was testing the lunar level and he was they're flying around and like the whole thing falls apart. He crashes and he's walking away from it, and there's a fiery wreck behind him, and he's all bloody face. There's a lot of cool really stuff. Good things about this movie. Jay, I just give you a bunch of shit, but like to me, like when I watched the movie, that's what I thought about. I thought about the time that people went to the Grand Canyon, looked over the edge, and went, "Huh, okay." You know what I mean? Like getting to the moon should have been more of a spectacle than just him like go. But they wanted to tell an emotional story, is what I understand. But the cool thing is they only shot that sequence in IMAX with the IMAX cameras. So like when it does come up on screen, it's a jaw-dropping revelation. I mean, because everything else was shot in film, small 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter. Fair enough. All right. My number 3, Jay, is another one like First Man, which is based on true events, a true story, was beautifully directed, wonderfully acted, and the practical effects for it were so well done, Jay. They actually flew real planes all the way up to the stratosphere and then dropped them down, plummeted them down to create the weightlessness of space. That's what Ron Howard did, Jay, for Apollo 13.
And then if you could give your oxygen tanks a stir.
What did you do?
Nothing. I stirred the tanks.
Whoa.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
I love this movie.
Yes.
I'm a huge history buff. My whole family's huge history. My dad's a history buff. My brother teaches American history. So like watching this movie, I actually think of the Wonder Years episode where Kevin can't figure out what his mom's doing every day, and he thinks his mom lost the receipts to like taxes, or his mom's cheating on his dad's, and he follows her to the church, and all she's doing is lighting candles for the astronauts that are lost out in space. Like it was such an event at the time when the space race and sending people into space was at such a fever pitch in our country that like it affected everyday lives. The fact that these men might not make it back, and it might have ruined national pride, and it might have ruined the fact that we were winning the space race. It would have tarnished it, would have made it feel, would have cheapened it in a way. But not only that, like people were just behind them surviving because we believed in sending people to space so much. We don't believe that so much anymore as a country. We don't believe in that exploration aspect.
Not nearly as much.
But this film perfectly captures how 3 men in a tin can, perfectly encapsulate what it means to be astronauts. And there's this moment with Tom Hanks where he's Jim Lovell and he's on a TV interview and he's talking about, how he's been in tight spots before. His entire instrument panel went out. The screen, it was dark outside. He needed to land his plane. He couldn't find where the aircraft carrier was. But, once all the instruments went out, he was able to see the algae that was getting stirred up in the ocean that was glowing for him, and it was just leading him home. And I love that. And there's this moment where like his mother is like looking at one of his children and she's like, "Are you upset?" You know, and the kid like shakes his head and she's like, "Don't worry about it. If they can make a washing machine fly, my Jimmy can fly it." Like, I absolutely love, there's moments in this movie that just feel so
great line.
Fucking American, just so fucking fuck yeah. You know? And I love this movie, but it also gets really heavy into like NASA and also just this real event and like how they solved problems on the fly. Like you almost feel like that doesn't happen anymore, but then you get like a true to life story that's more contemporary and stuff like that, and you realize stuff like people like that still exist. It's just it's just a timeless film that's really well made by Ron Howard, and there's very few films by Ron Howard that I can say that about.
True.
So, all right, Jay, what is your number 2, man?
Mine is The Martian.
All right.
So, this Ridley Scott film, I'm not, you hit it pretty well.
I fucking made this movie for Jay. There's no, I was making it. The only person I could think about was, what is Jay from Super Movie Brothers going to think of The Martian?
Exactly. And I was blown away. I was very pleasantly surprised. And this was, written by Drew Goddard, and Drew Goddard has done, The Cabin in the Woods and a lot of interesting projects. So
when I talked about the fun that was in the script
from Drew Goddard,
that levity, it's Drew Goddard. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that was probably why it's on the top tier of my top 5, because of the fun and the rewatchability, along with the great ensemble cast. And of course, this is 100% Matt Damon, and Matt Damon kills it.
Yeah.
I mean,
is Sebastian Stan good in it? Sure. Is Jessica Chastain good in it? Sure. But who stands out?
This is 100% Matt Damon. Nobody remembers Jessica Chastain in this movie.
Right.
Nobody remembers Sebastian Stan.
I don't think anyone could have been as charismatic as Matt Damon was in this film. But
also be able to convey that kind of humanity and also dire stress of the situation at hand, but realizing that he has to stay positive because there is no other option.
And growing potatoes and shit was pretty cool.
Well, sure, absolutely. But like the reality of his situation, how to navigate it, and how to try and stay positive even through the worst of times. And it was such a beautiful movie all the way through. I mean, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a great movie that is absolutely
one
of my favorite ones.
Who we weren't even thinking about, but you know who really shines in this? Jeff Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Daniels and Donald Glover. I love when Donald Glover shows up in this film.
I love Donnie. I know. I
loved it.
He really went on a limb with that one. Yeah, his performance was very bold. Didn't love it, but I definitely understand with the Jeff Daniels aspect. Yeah, it was great.
All right, Jay, my number 2 needs a musical introduction. It's 2001, A Space Odyssey.
I have still yet to finish this movie.
Oh my God.
And it's fucking sad for me to say that.
Dude,
it's sad.
Because you're a film buff.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen this film.
And this is like, 100% must watch film. I mean, this is like supposed to be one of the best things ever created to some people. And I still have yet to get through it.
Here's how important this film was when it was made. My dad...
Make this a movie homework, please.
My dad had to go see this movie on a field trip.
Oh, wow.
They were taking kids to class, like out of class, to go to the theater to see this movie.
Well, at the time, this was... I mean, this changed cinema.
Yeah.
I mean, when this came out, this 100% changed cinema. I understand and respect that aspect for it, but
I almost feel bad that it's not my number 1. I feel bad. It probably should be because of how much it changed cinema. Just the practical effects of it, just the spectacle of it, just the fucking way it looked, like the message of the film. Like, this is a film that people have been dissecting for years. You can watch it each time and come away with a different fucking conclusion to it. It's so deep, and it's so God, Stanley Kubrick was just a fucking genius at the top of his fucking game. And if you are like Jay and you haven't seen this movie, watch it. I know it's going to start off in a way where you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's going to take you in a direction where you start to get a little bit of a story, and then you're going to get some musical numbers of things floating in space, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Your story's going to continue, and you're going to get some more floating things in space where you're going to be like, what the fuck's going on?
This is probably where I fell asleep.
Then you're going to get the end of the movie, and you're going to be like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then you're going to get the baby floating in space, and you're like, yeah, fuck it, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But the more and more you watch it, the more and more it starts making this weird backwards sense to you. Like, the more and more you pick up on little things in dialogue, but you start picking up on the visuals that you were getting from Stanley Kubrick, the more it makes sense to you. I know I started off talking about movies that I can watch in mute at some point during this episode. This movie's beautiful. You can watch it in mute. There's there's dialogue. Yeah, sure, Hal has lost his mind, and that dialogue at the end is pretty important, but fuck. It's just a feast for the eyes, this film. Like, that's what it comes down to. And it really revolutionized filmmaking when it came out. And I can't stress that enough. If you are like Jay and you haven't seen it, fuck. Stop listening to Super Movie Bros. Go watch 2001: A Space Odyssey and join Jay on Patreon next month as he watches 2001: A Space Odyssey, and me and Jay discuss it.
Absolutely. This will be my movie homework, and we will dive
Patreon
deep into it. And
sure.
I can't wait.
I like it.
Because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and all I need is...
Look at you just generating content for the Patreon.
Exactly. I need a kick in the balls, and this is one of those things where I always knew this had to be watched, and I gotta prepare myself. I need a little bit more of a sober mind.
No, scotch. I mean, bourbon. Go nuts.
Okay.
Go nuts. Smoke weed if you want. Drop acid.
I was almost thinking... Actually, LSD, I think, is probably the right call.
They call him fingers, but I never see him fing. Oh, there they go.
All right, Jay. Before we get to number ones, any honorable mentions? Something you want to drop?
Just Contact.
Okay.
Contact.
Another Matthew McConaughey hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, was not a hit. A cult film in a way, because not well received movie, but in recent years has found more footing than it had when it originally came out.
Yes, it has. And that is a very true thing. And, one of the movies that I think at the time was super praised, I think, looking back upon it because of the plausibility of a lot of aspects of it. And obviously, I keep on hearing in the zeitgeist in the movie bubble that The Right Stuff is supposed to be one of the best space movies out there. I just have never seen it yet.
Yeah, I also heard
it's just one of those kind of movies.
I never saw Stranded.
It's been around for a long time, since 1983. It came out, highly regarded.
Doing research for this, I saw Stranded was one of them, which is another story like The Martian, where a astronaut is stranded on a planet and stuff. That came up on a lot of the lists that I was looking at as well, and I hadn't seen it, so I can't put it on my list. I'll never put anything on the list that I haven't seen.
Oh, of course, yeah,
but,
absolutely. These are personal lists. This is what we.
It made me intrigued to definitely check it out. But,
absolutely.
My honorable mentions, Jay, are Moon, Sam Rockwell.
I don't think it qualifies.
It didn't qualify for the list, which is why I kept it off. It's a little bit too sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
It starts off.
It's close. It's close.
Starts off very realistic.
It's very
feel
close.
like this is something that could be true, based in real science and stuff, and then it takes. Beautifully, the third act goes into a deep sci-fi delve that I think everyone should take with the film. Go watch Moon. I think it's still available on Amazon Prime. I believe it's also on HBO.
Probably somewhere. Yeah. Absolutely,
it's definitely streaming somewhere for you to check out. But Moon is wonderful. Sam Rockwell is wonderful in it, in multiple roles. Not to spoil anything too much. Jay, another one was one of yours, Gravity. You had that on your list, but this one, my final honorable mention. This is just for dear old dad. It's Space Cowboys. Dude, this is a film that I just like. It's just fun.
It's one of your dad's favorite films?
It's one of my dad's favorite movies, yeah.
Okay.
It's just fun. It's just
I never saw it.
It's just dumb fun. I think our Patreon episode we should discuss 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is like this beautiful masterpiece of a film and stuff like that. And we should also watch Space Cowboys. Compare compare and contrast and discuss them both. Look, there's a Russian satellite that has nuclear missiles on it, and the Russians stole the technology that put that satellite into orbit from one of the characters, and now Tommy Lee Jones, Donald Sutherland, James Gardner, and Clint Eastwood must go into space to disarm the nukes and help the satellite.
It sounds amazing.
And one of them has to take an unforgettable ride to the moon in the end. So like it's just fun. It's just fun. It's literally on my list because this movie I never would have seen if my dad didn't watch it. My dad was actually telling me he just watched it on Netflix a couple days ago. So It is available on Netflix for people to watch. This is 100% an AARP type movie, but it is dumb fucking fun. So it made my list just for dear old dad. So
fantastic. I mean, this one. Yeah, that's definitely. I'm intrigued. I'll say that.
Yeah, we'll watch.
I'm intrigued. Eventually, maybe.
It's definitely have a few beers and shut your brain off type movie. So, all right, Jay. All right, we're here, man. You're number one.
Number one.
What is it?
Apollo 13.
Roger. Let's tie all the batteries on a main A and main B.
Flight, they're still showering a bit up there. Do you want to tell them?
Anything we could do about it?
Not now, Flight.
And they don't need to know, do they?
Copy that.
Is this typhoon still present in the splashdown here?
Yeah.
We got the parachute situation, the heat shield, the angular trajectory, and the typhoon. There's just so many variables. I'm a little
I know
lost.
what the problems are, Henry. This could be the worst disaster NASA's ever experienced.
With all due respect, sir, I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
Apollo 13. This is one of my early days movies that I saw. I mean, obviously this came out in 95. I saw it probably in the late 90s.
It's an amazing movie. Like, did you watch it in school?
For the first time? I think I might have.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the first places I saw this movie.
I've seen this quite a bit. Certainly over 5 times, I think, by now. And it's amazing it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it goes by quick. It is a thriller. It is intelligent. It is well acted. It is well shot and directed. It is a plausible story. It has everything that you can possibly want in a space movie.
Jay, it's plausible because it fucking happens.
Well, that's what right. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a original story.
When I watched this movie, do you remember? You know what I think of when I watch this movie now? Because I did just watch it probably about 2 months ago. I was like, oh shit, Gary Sinise is in this. He used to be a thing. That's what Apollo 13 reminds me of. Hey, he was Lieutenant Dan.
He's still a thing to me. I love that guy. He's fantastic. But I just adore this movie. I mean, it's just one of those movies that is a home run all around. You talked about it earlier already, and I completely concur with everything that you said before.
Could you, can you imagine being Ron Howard and being a camera crew, and I'm like, all right, man, let's get in this plane that's going to just plummet to Earth so everyone can.
Yeah, I mean,
let's build a set on a plane that plummets to Earth.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
This movie must have been one of the biggest things out there,
100%
in Hollywood that year.
100%.
I mean, just groundbreaking stuff. I mean, they had the cast. I mean, at the time, this is 90s fucking A-list. Everybody in this movie.
It had Kevin Bacon.
Oh, I mean, Bill Paxton, Ed Harris, like we said, Gary Sinise, and this is just a magical movie that is so well done. Absolutely adore it. I love it. It's so rewatchable. I mean, if you guys have not seen it, I mean, please go find it.
I think people are watching this in school still to this day, but
I hope so.
Jay, never have I agreed with a number one of yours more so than I do right now. So, I mean, I do love this movie. Yeah. I love true life history, and I especially love the true life history of like the space race and stuff like that. It just
holds a close, it's just so close to my heart because I grew up with it, and it just stays with me, and it's just such a well done movie.
Like Hidden Figures didn't make my list because there's no fucking space in that movie. No one goes to space in that movie. I mean, people are going to space, but not our main characters, not the people we're following, for Christ's sakes. So, but I love that movie too because of its true to life like portrayal of the space race and stuff.
And its characters.
When I say true to life, I always mean through the Hollywood filter, obviously. But
sure.
All right, Jay, my number one's a film you already talked about. Also, it is Interstellar.
My number 5.
It was your number 5, man.
By the time I get back, we might even be the same age. You and me. What? Imagine that.
You have no idea when you're coming back. No idea. Oh!
Don't make me leave like this. Come on, Murph. Don't make me leave like this, Murph.
I'll be honest.
I knew it was going to be probably high on your list. I didn't think it was going to be your number one, though. I must say that.
Out of all the films on the list, maybe other than Apollo 13, this is the film I've watched the most. I know, like you've watched it a few times and stuff like that. For me, I've probably seen this film 7, 8, maybe 10 times. Like I own it on Blu-ray, but I actually, for quicker access, I actually have it saved from DVR on my set-top box because I watch it a fair bit. I'm not crazy about like the first act. I understand it exists for like the world building of what they're doing and stuff like that, but
and for the emotional payoff
exactly.
At the end, yes.
But also like, just the idea of like why they're going to space and stuff like that. The physics around it, you get closer to a black hole like they do. Time acts differently. They go down to a planet's surface for 10 minutes in the film. They return and a character is 30 years older. Stuff like that. Like that type of stuff. Like,
it's an extremely intelligent film, and it does require your brain to be working while you're watching this movie.
I love that mind-bending stuff, but like also that moment when, and the moment I see a lot of memes that like really make fun of this moment, and to me it breaks my heart every time. Probably because I have a daughter, but when he gets the video from his daughter, and he breaks down crying, I cry every time. Jay.
Oh, are you kidding?
I lose it every time.
Ugly. This is an ugly cry scene.
McConaughey sells it so well.
He does.
And like the third act of the film, while story-wise doesn't work for me as far as like the film goes, it doesn't work for me. The emotional payoff of it works for me, where like they made the emotional payoff work for me for something that I don't buy. Like I don't buy this whole like center of the guitar strings and plucking it and making things happen. I don't buy that. But the emotional payoff that it's giving me, I buy, because Matthew McConaughey is selling it. And
and when you reflect back upon the first act, you can respect the nuances that they were showing us, when you reflect upon it, especially after repeat viewings. So I mean, it definitely does sell. And what do you think about the ending, the very ending? Do you think that hit the head for you? I mean, did they nail it for you? Like, did it satisfy you enough?
Yeah, it 100%.
Or was it more the journey that satisfied you?
You know what? For me, it's the journey. It's this high concept sci-fi journey that they take us on and stuff like that, where they try to ground it in real science. Jay, here's how
no shame in that. Absolutely.
Here's how grounded in real science they tried to be. They got real NASA astronomers in to plug in their mathematical codes for what a black hole should look like, and it rendered it in the effects engine and produced it on screen. And that's what Christopher Nolan said, let's go with it. That's it. It's got this beautiful halo around it, all this light getting sucked into it. This year, 2019, we got our first real picture of what the outside of a black hole looks like.
A very good picture. Yeah.
And it was what was in this film.
Before that time.
This film came out 5 years before this real picture of a black hole happened. No one had ever actually filmed
and you also see it in this year's High Life, the second black hole that they show in that movie, and it's almost identical.
So it's pretty crazy that like that's how grounded in real science it is. Now, again,
I am fascinated with the whole black hole thing. I mean, how can you not be? It's the coolest thing there is in the universe.
And before we go, I just want to say, like, as great as Matthew McConaughey is, I don't think his performance would have been sold as well if it wasn't for Mackenzie Foy playing his daughter early on in the film. I think that girl sells it hard. I love her performance in this, and I
do not hear too much about her in that movie. I think
but the reason I love the emotional,
and a young Timothy Chalamet, throwing my boy out there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Say it with a French accent, Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy.
In the Denis Villeneuve film. But no, I think Mackenzie Foy as the daughter sells it so hard. The father-daughter relationship, that the emotional payoff works so well later on. I don't think it could work without her early on performance and without Matthew McConaughey's performance and stuff. I thought they worked really well together. I loved that performance, but it really comes down to the high concept sci-fi, and I think you're right. Yeah, maybe your brain should be turned on for this, even though it's not all 100% true science and stuff like that, even though it may not all work this way. They really did their research and tried to ground it in real science, and even brought that to the special effects floor when this film was brought to screen. You know, I'm one of these guys where like I know I wind up liking these type of movies more than other people do. Other people find plot problems in it and stuff like that. I don't even focus on the plot when I watch. I'm listening to all this science jargon going on, quantum, just going on around me, and I'm just eating it up. It's one of the reasons that like I really enjoyed Annihilation last year. I know a lot of people weren't as hot on that as they were of Alex Garland's previous film Ex Machina, but I really enjoyed it because I like this high sci-fi concept that's going on in it and stuff like that. So man, yeah, Interstellar, my number one. Jay, your number one. Apollo 13. I like both of them. I can't say it enough. This is a fun list, man.
It was fun.
Came together last minute because of Ad Astra. I'm actually now, this says, talking about these films and reliving them has made me want to go see Ad Astra more. So I hope it did the same for you. I hope you guys are all willing to go out and see Ad Astra. Maybe next week we'll discuss it and decide whether it deserves a spot on this top 5 or whether it slips into honorable mentions or it's just a complete fucking dud.
We will bring that up for sure. And then also check us out on Patreon for some exclusive new test footage for our YouTube show.
Yeah, I did put up our bourbon adventure on our Patreon for everyone to check out.
Yes, our first trial with our new camera. And also and then, 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah, it's going to be our next. Yeah.
So, again, there's a lot of cool things that we're starting to unveil on Patreon that we're going to be much more intended to going forward. So, please, at least $1 a month, you can get onto our tiers and have fun with it, man. Explore.
Within a few days.
Be part of the show.
Within a few days of you guys listening to this on Patreon, me and Jay will have an exclusive Captain America cocktail up where we talk about our top 5 Captain America moments in the MCU, and we made a cocktail for it. It's the first time we blended the movie cocktail formula with a top 5. That's going to be exclusive to our patrons, and then the episode after that
love it. Yeah.
is going to be you watching 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yep.
And I think, Jay, the perfect place to watch it is here in our new studio where we have a movie theater, and now you have a reclining movie chair to watch it in.
I mean,
with headphones. Yeah.
Do you want to
stereo surround?
Do you want to partake in that?
Oh yeah, I'll be here for it.
Okay.
I'll watch that movie again.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to do it for Super Movie Brothers tonight. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. If you want to enjoy some of that extra Patreon content, head over to patreon.com/Super Movie Bros podcast on there for just $1 a month. You can get all of our extra episodes. If you want to pledge a little bit more, we got some exclusive gifts for anyone who pledges more than $5. You get to choose an item from the loot chest. And then, of course, we are part of a network. We're part of the Podfix Network. So head over to podfixnetwork.com. And there you can check out all the great shows that are part of the Podfix Network. You can also check out some of our season 1 movie cocktail recipes by going to the drop down, going to movie cocktail on there, and you'll see all of our recipes for season 1 of movie cocktail. I believe in 2 weeks, Jay, we will have another movie cocktail for everybody. We are going to be doing, everyone's going to be voting on Twitter for the...
Yeah, reach out on Twitter, find our poll, vote.
For our martial arts movies, movie cocktail. So we'll see which movie wins from that. So I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Have a great night. Cheers.
Cheers.